Hey everybody, welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Hell's Kitchen After Show. On this episode, we're breaking down Season 15, Episode 13, 6 Chefs Remain. We're going to be finding out what you'll sell your mother for, keeping your cool around Little John, and just whose black hair was in the potatoes. Come on, fess up. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yeah. I realize I have incredibly less rhythm than Lem Gonzalez sitting in this chair. I cannot break it down like he does.
You got it, Frank. You got
That's
it.
right. Oh, thank you.
Just do a little. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey.
I like it. I like it.
Hey everybody, welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Hell's Kitchen After Show. We've got three of us here tonight. Lem Gonzalez is on assignment, as they like to say. Yes.
On assignment.
By assignment, we mean eating somewhere in some fantastic restaurant that he'll send us Instagram pictures
Sipping
of.
wine with a pinky up.
Yes. But in the meantime, I'll be manning the lead chair seat. The lead chair seat? The lead chair seat. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. And manning the chat, we've got Maria Provenzano.
Yes, hey guys, I am Maria Provenzano, and you can find me at Maria Provenzano on Twitter, and all of my information will be there. And sitting beside me is the very beautiful...
Hi, I'm Rhavin with the McSweany, and you can find me at B Stays Busy, Bizzy. But
She
apparently
does
not
stay
as
busy.
busy as Lim, who isn't here.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, folks, follow us on Facebook, like us on iTunes, give us those sweet 5 stars. Hop on the chat, join us in the conversation as we break down this episode. Maria's got her computer up. She's in the chat room.
I am.
Seeing all your thoughts in there. She'll share some of your comments. But let's also take a moment to just welcome the other fourth member of our panel, the silent member, these delicious chocolate chip biscottis that Maria made.
Yes, this recipe is on my website, and I rephotographed it today because I've been making these forever, and it was one of the first recipes I ever put on my website. So the recipe is up, but I'm going to have prettier pictures hopefully sometime this week.
Oh. And I tell you, I think the secret is the cinnamon. I'm just throwing
There's
that
some
out.
cinnamon in
Yes.
it. Yes, and dark chocolate. You know what? It's chopped dark chocolate, too.
Oh. All right. I'm going to make a guess. There's 6 of them right there. I'm going to say 2 remain by the end of the show.
Right.
There you go.
There's your challenge.
That's right. Like the contestants falling in Hell's Kitchen, these biscottis will be falling into my belly. All right. So we're talking about 6 chefs remain.
6.
That's 6. And you know what
It's
that means?
down to the wire quickly.
Yes. There's no messing around. I mean, Jared's feeling he's feeling the heat. He's the last guy remaining.
Right. And
You know
he
what
has
that
that
says
moment
about
with
women.
Ashley as in the beginning.
That's true.
Again, it's like, but nothing ever really happened as far as we know with them.
No. I think they're just friends. I guess it seems like.
Friends
But
with potential benefits.
how much is yes? How much for when it gets to like competition shows like this, especially like Survivor or Hell's Kitchen, since it's already just set up as men against women initially? How much does like gender, like the gender importance become? Because I always say any team that becomes like so like it's got to be a guy that wins it. It's got to be a woman that wins it. I always hate when it becomes divided along
Yeah.
those lines as opposed to just talent or skill.
Well, and this show started, with that way. It's the blue team was all men and the red team was all women, and it kind of showed women in maybe a bad light because they're out to get each other, and where the guys were working a little bit better together. And now it's sort of flipped where the red team was all women, and they were all maybe because they're just all really good, solid chefs that they are working well together, and they know that they need to work together to get up.
Yeah, I agree. Before, I was a little mad at the red team in the beginning because I was like, they're women cook, or that's how society wants to make us seem. Like we need to be the cooks. We need to know what we're doing. And the men were superseding the women in the beginning. And it was pissing me off to like the highest
and they couldn't get along.
Because I'm like, what are you guys doing? Focus. You got this. This is innate to
Focus.
us.
Because one thing, unlike Survivor, which has really done an interesting job of mixing up their format, or even like Big Brother, they shift how teams are formed. Hell's Kitchen has always stayed tried and true to it's the red team and the blue team, and then eventually there might be a couple little intermixings as Ramsay switches some people across the teams, and then it doesn't really become kind of integrated until it gets onto Black Jackets. And for sometimes I always think like it'd be nice to get away from just thinking, it's got to be the men, it's got to be the women, to have mixed teams right up from the beginning.
I agree, and I think maybe they do it because it's easy to like keep track of who's on what team. Because in the beginning, there's so many people, and it's hard to be like, wait, who's doing what? So maybe that's just a good way to split it because it's just easy.
Yeah. That's true. But now it's getting down to it. We have 6, and so as they come up the next morning, Chef Ramsay says, "Hey, guess what, folks? It's Black Jacket time."
And the families were
Yes.
there.
We woke them up and
I
surprised
know. I
them.
kind of would have been okay. As much as I would love to see my family, it was
Can
like,
I brush my teeth first?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
like it was like 5 a.m. Can I need coffee.
But
Mama
I think
needs
that's
coffee.
what made it super organic
Yeah.
because they would have never imagined
Exactly.
their family members walking in their rooms, waking them up so early. They're like,
Yeah.
"That you?" You know, so I enjoyed it. I got
I
a little
loved
misty-eyed,
it.
but I'm a sucker for that type of
I
stuff.
know, me
so.
too.
Now, Jared threw out an interesting comment that he said he was so glad his mom came as opposed to his dad.
Yeah.
So you're in this situation. A loved one's got to come. Who do you want to come through that door?
For me, in this particular one, my mom, because my mom's a really amazing cook, and she's such a perfectionist, and everything I've learned in the kitchen is from her. So she'd have to get a little pep in her step, I think, because she likes to be very meticulous and she takes her time. So she'd have to put the fire under her butt a little bit. But my mom is definitely.
This is tricky for me because I actually have two moms and a dad. I have my stepmom who raised me, and then I have my biological mom who I've known all my life. But I would have to pick my mommy, which is biological mom, because she gets down in the kitchen. Like,
Nice.
I love you, mama, stepmom, and everything.
Yeah.
But my mom, me, she's really good.
Yeah, it's
in
a
the
competition,
like,
people.
really good. But if you had to choose and didn't know that
Yeah.
it was cooking, I mean, that would be harder for me to choose. I might have just had my dad come.
Yeah.
Oh, just maybe. Yeah,
about you,
Like if
Frank?
I didn't know if it was for cooking,
yeah.
then I would probably choose my dad.
Yeah. Is it possible to have a cat come in? I'd probably have a cat. That's who I'd
That's
like.
if it's not for cooking. Right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm not particularly close to either parent, so it's like, yeah.
but
Well,
they-
you could have like
Amanda
a
had her
sibling
brother.
or a
Mandy-
cousin or a
Amanda.
friend.
Yeah, Amanda
I have
had
no
her
friends.
brother.
Frank,
I, have no
I will
friends.
come. I
All
will
right.
be there.
I would have
I'm
Maria
sorry.
come in.
I
All right.
would come.
Maria
Did
and
you say
Rhavin,
he didn't
yes.
have friends?
All right. Okay.
What are we?
Well, there's friends, and then there's friends that'll go on Hell's Kitchen at 5:30 in
I
the
will.
morning. All right.
I will.
All right.
If food is involved, I'm there. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. What was I thinking?
Your Snapchat, by the
Yes.
way, is everything.
I'm just like,
She posts like all these sweet pictures.
you
I'm like, I live
inspire
vicariously
me. You don't
through
get
you.
it. You inspire me.
I know. I see yours like usually in the morning, and then I see yours at night. Like, hey, this is the last thing that I was doing before night. I just made this, and then I'm going to bed. I'm like,
Which
all
is
right.
probably not good, eating late at night. But yeah, my dinner.
Looks
Oh,
good.
man.
So speaking of making a meal, though, so what they're going to have is the Chef Ramsay wants to talk about if you're going to be leading my kitchen here in my restaurant there, you also have to be a good teacher. And part of that is being able to
Yes.
teach somebody how to prepare a dish. So he's going to have their loved ones prepare his famous Provenzano dish, but they're going to be tied up in straitjackets, so they can't assist at all physically, only verbally.
Right.
Yes. And how big of a tease was that when he
Oh
like
my
presented them with
gosh.
the jackets, but they end up being straight jackets?
They were getting teary-eyed.
I would
That's
get
what-
so claustrophobic in a straight jacket because I can't. If I can't move.
What if your nose itches?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's
You
right.
gotta sneeze. You just like sneeze on people. No coverage. whatsoever.
Everything becomes amplified in that moment because you wouldn't normally think about you having to scratch your nose, but the second you can't do it is when
Yeah.
you saw like, wait a second, is that my nose? My nose is itching. I can't do it. I'm gonna scratch it.
And then Jared's mom cut herself. It looked like
I watched
right?
that
Yes.
and that I cringed. I literally watched her do. Like, I was just kind of like, she felt really bad.
She did feel bad, and then of course Ashley's dad, who they own restaurants.
I don't know. Do you know that Ashley's dad's own restaurants? I wish I knew that. It was like
Because
a
it's every season. I mean, every episode, right?
Yes.
Several.
So, yeah, he goes several. Chef Ramsay was like, "Excuse me."
yeah. That's not the one you say several to Chef Ramsay. Like, oh
yeah.
yeah, and settle
I
down
thought
there.
it was cute though.
It was. It actually was. I mean,
when
you
you
gotta
have
do it.
confidence.
That's so funny.
I mean,
but then
even Chef
Kristen and
Ramsay.
her dad end up doing really well too. So
Yeah, which I did. Kristen, I referred to it as at home. It's called Kristen's Bitchin' Kitchen.
Yeah.
because she is all up in her dad when they're trying to make food.
Yeah, she's
at
like,
home.
don't do it like that. Don't do it. And he's like, okay.
but I thought it's an interesting challenge because that would be difficult.
Do you think you'd have patience with your mom's cooking, or would you be kind of agitated and start kind of? You know,
I would have more patience with my mom because she would probably be on top of it more than me.
Yeah, my mom's my soulmate in the kitchen.
She would be more on top of it. She'd probably, I'd miss something. She'd be like, you sure I don't need to do this? I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Good way to go, Mom. Like,
Yeah.
that's the type of, she's a really bomb cook.
See, that's what my mom is too. I'd just be on her on speed, but in terms of that, she would do really
And she's
well.
quick. And she's quick.
Yeah,
So I
you might
think-
have that on me.
I do like Ariel's mom, where she dropped something on the floor and just ate it right
oh
up
my
there.
gosh, that was so funny. She's like, oh my gosh, now you have to wash your hands. Like, it was just really
She's
cute.
like, don't eat stuff off the floor. Ew.
And then she's yelling it. That means everyone can hear it. Like, don't put her on blast.
So Kumar in her chat is saying the mom looked like she was cutting herself on purpose.
She low-key did.
Maybe she did
Yeah.
because then she didn't want to do it anymore.
Well, I know, because Jared said he would literally sell his mom to get that black jacket.
Self-sabotage.
Maybe she knew that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, that's it.
Yeah.
Or you what? I'm going to cut myself now, Jared. See what you think of that. So they make their meals and they present them up to Chef Ramsay. And certainly it seems like overall, it seems like the plating is kind of but the taste, I don't think anybody overall dropped the ball in terms of taste.
Right, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
See, that's how you know we're dealing with a full deck.
No,
A full
absolutely.
deck
Yeah,
of chefs.
yeah.
Like, there's no wild cards that we would rather just have go home.
Yeah, and certainly I feel like the deciding factor was, I think, like how well versed the person there, the loved one, was as a chef.
True. I was surprised Danny's sister and even and then Ashley's dad and Kristen's dad, he's not a professional cook, but he's just, I guess, good in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then who else was it? Who else was there? Was that
There was-
it for
For dads or are we
no, for who like actually was really legit in the kitchen?
Well, it seemed like Manda's brother did pretty good.
did
'cause he did better
well.
than Jared.
Yeah.
I think like Jared was probably like the bottom.
Yeah,
out of
Jared was
everybody.
probably the bottom with like the person's ability.
Because they missed the vegetables, and that's when she cut her hand. Too.
Yeah.
They were saying
yeah,
they
yeah.
were missing something on the plate. So
Can we just take one moment, though, to give a big shout out to Amanda's brother's sweet deep V that he had rocking. Man,
Oh my God.
that shirt was buttoned so low.
the cleavage.
Yeah.
I was watching this with Frank. You should have seen his reaction. He literally points, like he's sitting so close to me. He points. He's like, "Look at this!" Like he's wearing that, like his chest hair is like coming out.
He
Ooh,
rocked
macho,
it.
macho
yes.
man.
I was like, all right.
Or
You,
metro.
It was a choice.
sexual.
it was a choice.
choice.
But wouldn't you, if you were with a guy, husband, brother, friend, and they come out and they're legitimately wearing that shirt unbuttoned that
Like,
part?
Where are you going with that? You better turn around. and go
You
change
better
that
turn
real quick.
around.
Did you
You're
forget
not
his
going
dress?
out with me.
Yeah.
With that.
Did you forget you got to finish dressing yourself before we go out in public? Come on, buddy.
Unless I need to just, unbutton mine a little bit.
Yeah.
Be in competition.
Hey, it's a competition.
You're not going to have more cleavage than me. That's not going to happen. It's not.
Well, it gets down to it, and it seems like we've got Kristen and her dad,
Yes.
and Danny and her sister having the best dishes, and it just comes down to one little score on a piece of fish. That's
So
what
she
makes
was
it
Yeah.
different.
missing an extra one. Is that what it was? Or she didn't?
I think she.
Was it the scoring of the fish, or did he tell us what it was?
He said it was a scoring, but I don't know if she didn't do it or if she didn't do
didn't-
the
okay.
amount that she was supposed to do.
Yeah.
That I don't know.
Yeah,
That's a good
That's what I was
question.
curious about.
I'd have to look back at that. Yeah, but he did say it was a scoring. So yeah.
Yeah, and so Red Team wins, and it's spa day.
Now that's what I'm talking
Shout
about.
out. I
Yes.
still have my little gift card. I gotta make it down there. soon, but I love Burkwood.
Have you been? I have not been there.
I've been there several times.
Is that
You need
Beverly
to
Hills?
go. There's one in West Hollywood. There's one in Santa Monica.
Okay.
You've got
That's where I must have
options.
seen Santa Monica then. But that I think
This is as spa day starts talking about
I
outrageous
know.
stuff.
Yeah, take a break. We
I'm
can
just
go
gonna
all
eat the
night on
biscotti.
that.
But I'm telling you, like especially in a competition like this where you're on your feet so much and any career where you're on your feet a lot. I used to do hair, and actually I've worked in restaurants, so it's just being on your feet like that and that hustle bustle. Oh, especially the high tension of this
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
You need massage and
They
just,
got the manicure
pedicure
and pedicure.
But then Kristen ruins it by saying, "Oh, wouldn't it be great to have Jared get his back waxed here?" Like, come on now. Why are we talking about that right now?
Do you think Kristen likes Jared?
no.
Okay. I didn't either. I just thought I'd
Just thought throw it out there. Just thought throw it out
No,
there.
well, we'll get into that in the end. Kristen's, I think, true feelings on everybody, but
Oh, yeah.
that's more. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, and so the blue team, since they lose, they get one of the sweetest punishments that always happens there in Hell's Kitchen is when they have to do cleaning day for the everybody's bunks up there. Oof, that's always the grossest day, I think.
It didn't even seem that bad. I don't know.
Amanda had a good point though. She said if there were more boys left, then it would have been a lot grosser. And boys are gross.
I don't know. I may have to disagree because I've been to clubs and
Oh,
I've been in
yeah.
the women's restroom and I've been that girl that's like, F this, I'm not waiting that line, and I've gone to the men's restroom
And it's
and
not
it's
as
nicer. And it's nicer. So I don't know. I kind of was like feeling where Jared was coming from.
I see.
There might be, I don't know.
Yeah, there's
We're
makeup
not
everywhere.
Gross. Women aren't gross. It's just there's
have
a
more
lot. There's a lot
stuff.
of layers to us. That it's just Wait, that
There's
sounds
like
nasty.
no.
okay.
I was picking up what you're throwing down. There's like mascara. There's and I shed a lot. My baby takes a bath and we have the same shower and there's a bath and he'll be ew, mama hair, pu. Like it doesn't smell. It's just a hair, but he hates it. But it's like we shed.
Yeah, so I don't know.
What?
It maybe, I tend to think sometimes when there's a lot of women in one area living space that it can get a little nasty.
Yeah,
guys.
that's true.
This is one question that
just the toilet, guys.
Yeah.
You guys in the toilet, like
No,
something is just.
Yeah.
no, we like to just pee around things.
Yeah,
We don't like to pee on
that's the
them.
one
Yeah,
thing
it's
that
like,
drives
let's
me
go
insane
everywhere.
about men.
Yes.
But other than that,
Yeah, but one thing I never asked, I can't believe I've never asked this question. It just dawned on me. It's like, so certainly at clubs, things like that, as you're talking about, like there's always the bathroom attendant for the guys, and I hate that. I hate the bathroom attendant because he's like giving you paper towels, like you can't pull the paper towels out yourself. Do they have women bathroom attendants?
yeah.
Yeah.
Are they annoying? Do you
I don't
do you
really-
mind
I'm not
them?
annoyed.
They're not annoying, but sometimes they like hold the paper towels hostage.
Yes.
Like
Well,
they
it's like
want
why?
you to need
Because
them.
they want you to tip
They
them.
want you to need them and they want you to tip them. And it's
And I
like, honey,
always feel-
this has a dispenser.
Yes.
Yeah, they make you feel bad if you don't tip them. I'm like, but I didn't really need you to hand me.
I didn't get a piece of gum. I didn't get your candy. I didn't get any perfume.
I know, but sometimes it is convenient when they hand you one.
She's so bougie.
I mean, it's convenient.
She's so bougie over here.
I don't need that, but it's convenient.
But
I
don't make me feel
usually,
like I need to give
but
you
then I
a
do,
dollar for
I
them.
know.
You
I
give them
feel
$1 every time they give you a paper towel, Maria?
Well, if I go to the bathroom just once, but if I have to go a second time, I don't
Oh,
tip
so your
twice.
tip lives up for
okay.
the remainder of the evening?
Tip lives for the rest of the night.
It rolls over.
I like feel like I need to remind them. I'm like, I left one there earlier. Hi, I'm back.
So now I can come and get a piece of gum. Let me get a little spray of that perfume.
That hairspray is nice.
They don't like you much. No, I mean it's cool. I mean,
I find it so annoying, and it just makes me like not want to go to the bathroom.
do guys find it more annoying because they're like in there trying to do their business and they don't want someone in there?
Like when you're pooping, and you're like, "Hey, man, I don't want like a bunch of like dude just hearing me grunting."
Yeah, that
no,
part.
I don't know if it's
Okay.
that part. Not because I'm not gonna go.
I had to ask.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go poop in a nightclub. I feel like I'm better than that.
Hey,
I feel like I'm
when,
better.
when you gotta go, you gotta go. Hey?
You say pooping.
No, we should have done limbs boo boo.
Yeah, when I gotta go boo boo in a nightclub.
Oh, Levin's somewhere like just cracking up. I hope he's watching right now.
So
Oh my God.
we get down to service, and as always, we got two people sitting at the chef's tables for this one. For certainly the red team,
Yeah.
they got the better win out of this one. They've got Little John, and the girls are
Oh, I
loving
know.
that.
I love that.
That seems like that's really cool. You get Little John there, and then the blue team's got Cesar Millan.
What you got against Cesar Millan?
I don't have anything against Cesar Millan, but I mean, he's better than Jeff Dunham for sure.
Right? That's what I'm
He's
saying.
better than Jeff Dunham. Yeah.
It could have
I
been
know that
worse.
people feel strongly about the way he trains. I know someone who trains animals as well and believes in a different way of doing it. And I think because he doesn't do the treats, is that what it is that he doesn't do? I don't know if I know. I don't have
He does the
animals.
treats,
So
and then he has what is it? The crew? No, not the crew. The group of dogs that he'll.
okay.
I forget what it's called. But that's his technique, is usually taking a dog and introducing
Putting it with,
to
like, a
his-
group? Okay.
His group of dogs.
His little pack.
Pack. It's the pack.
Gotcha.
I don't know anything about any of this, but all I know is that people feel strongly about the way he trains animals. Some believe it's the best way, and some don't believe it. So it's interesting.
He was under some fire recently about a pig
What?
getting bit on the ear.
He
From
bit?
one of
Did he bite the pig?
The dog that he was trying to
Cesar
train.
Millan bit that pig. Arr.
No, that's not funny.
His
Sorry.
dog bit the pig.
The dog he was trying to train. This is not funny. I'm not trying to laugh. But the dog, he was trying to introduce the dog to the pig so he could be calm, and the dog attacked the pig and bit him in the ear, and they got it on camera. They showed it, and then they
no.
showed the pig's ear.
Oh.
And so, of course, animal,
Why is he introducing the dog to a pig?
it's a dog that's on a farm or something.
Oh.
Or something like that. It
Okay,
makes
so he
sense
needed
that
to
way.
meet all the
Yeah,
animals.
It made sense for what it was, but I just feel like they shouldn't have showed that part on the show.
Got to keep it real. Got to keep it
editing.
100. Keep it 100 for that.
But that's interesting. But yeah, so he was there, and not as exciting as the people who were with Lil Jon, though.
No.
Lil
Right.
Jon, they were
He
hilarious.
had jokes for days. He was
About
getting on
Ariel?
Yes.
I was cracking up though. They're like,
She was
I just
to
thought
the
she was
window, and he's like, "What about the law?"
Yeah, that's right.
To the
Called
sweat
her-
drop down.
gangster.
Hey.
Oh yeah, I'm like, can we say that
Yeah.
on here?
Go ahead.
Balls.
Oh, yeah.
You go, Maria.
We'll get the official ruling. Mark, can we say balls on Hell's Kitchen?
You can say balls.
Well,
I love
too
it.
late.
Hell's Kitchen.
Everybody, Mark.
It's part of a song.
But I also like they called her the pimp with the limp.
Yeah, I love that. I thought that was hilarious.
They were on it so tough.
Yeah.
And that was a really fun VIP table. I think of all so far, of all the VIP tables
They
we've
were,
had.
yeah, and then, you know, they showed more, I think, of them than any other VIP table that
Probably
they've had
because
this season.
they had so much to work with.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it's so much more that they were saying.
I know,
that
I love it.
That didn't get cut in.
Well, and you know what? He asked the question that I was curious about too. He goes, "Is every kitchen like this?" And I'm kind of like, "Is it?" Like, you wonder with celebrity chefs or people who are well-renowned chefs what the kitchens are like. For instance, Thomas Keller, who owns, or I guess owns and is the head chef at the French Laundry, which is one of the highest regarded restaurants in the world. I think however many Michelin stars for years and years and years. People in his kitchen is very, I've actually been in that kitchen. It's very calm. Everything is very meticulous.
No yelling.
There is no yelling. And he, even when he gets mad, because he uses everything, there's like no scraps. He uses everything till like he can't use it anymore. And there's all these stories that I had read before going to the French Laundry, which is such an experience, about him and the way he trains people and the way he reacts to things. He doesn't yell, but some person had thrown away all the stuff that he was going to use as a stock, which in the chef world, stock is so vital, especially when you make your own. You use it in so many different things. And this person had thrown it out, and he said you could see the anger like that sort of came over him, but he stayed calm, and he goes, everyone makes mistakes, and just stayed calm. So seeing...
What? I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
Chef Ramsay is taking me somewhere else.
Exactly.
Now I think that that's the norm. So when you're telling me this, I'm like, is he human?
Yes, so that's why it's interesting when Lil Jon asked that question. I thought the same thing.
Because I certainly think there was a trend for a while where it was very just like intense and that, you know, just a lot of yelling and shouting. But then you read articles like with Eric Repair and chefs like that where it's like, I don't want my kitchen to be run like that, and I try to not run it.
Yeah.
Try to make it more of a friendly, cooperative, you know, place that people you kind of like get the best out of people by nurturing them and making it a fun work environment as opposed to just kind of yelling at them to try to get them to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Two different
I guess
approaches.
if you can make it through that, you can make it through anything.
And I think it depends on your energy too. I think some people kind of love the heat, you know?
Yeah, that adrenaline rush.
Yeah. Kind of makes you move.
Yeah, and I think it depends on the context too, because like Gordon Ramsay's show, The F Word, which was over in the UK, where he basically just had like a pop-up restaurant, and every week he'd bring in like 3 or 4 people like from different kind of teams. They weren't probably professional chefs, but of aspiring chefs, and they'd come in and they'd do a service, and they'd kind of get based on the customers' feedback, he'd kind of rate them and see who was the best chefs, and then he'd bring them back for a final service at the end of the season. And he was not as intense as he is in Hell's Kitchen in terms of working with the chefs. He'd be stern, but he'd also be a little bit more nurturing than he is on Hell's Kitchen.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's a lot of it's for the show as well, so it's a little over the top, but it makes for good TV.
Very
I
true.
mean, he's made a name like that. I mean, that's his MO. So.
Yeah, he tells people to F off.
Yes.
He'll be like, get out of here.
Yeah, you donkey. Yeah,
I like that.
That's right.
I'm like, I like that.
I wish I could say that on a daily basis. You know, you're in certain situations like, ugh, F off.
You can say it if you say F off.
Oh, I don't think I can say, no, I think
Or
in
do
a
it with
lot of
accent.
situations,
F off.
if I
That could be your new ending for all your blog posts.
F off.
F off.
Yes.
Well, no, I'd have nobody would want to read my recipes.
That's how you sign out.
Yes.
Sign out. Okay. At the end of this, sign out like that, okay? Try it. Let's try it.
I'll try it.
So the blue team gets into it, and Jared, again, has a case of the yips right out of the gate there. He puts too much salt in his carbonara.
And
Yips.
Danny told
Yips,
him,
what's a yip?
don't.
Yep, as when you kind of start messing up and you kind of get a little
I mean, I
nervous.
figured it out via context, but
Yes.
a yip.
I've never
Yeah,
heard
the
of it,
yips.
but
Get a case of the yips. A lot of golfers get that, a case of the yips.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay.
the yips. He still didn't really explain what it was, like where it came from, but we're just going to keep rolling with it.
That expression that golfers use if somebody's like having a tough time, they can't really hit the ball as well as they should. Their putt game is
Golfers
awful.
do use that
Yes.
term? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got a case of the yips.
Case of the yips, y'all.
you
Danny specifically told Jared not to put any more
Yeah.
salt in there.
And they show it. She said don't.
She said,
and
no,
he
no. And then he
tasted
goes,
it.
oh, no. And then if you don't stop, he went like this like 3,
Yeah.
4 times or something. It was just a lot of salt if it was already good.
And especially when you hear someone else's opinion, Who knows? But at least he had, the one thing I will say, and I remember I put it in my notes, but he owned up to it.
He did.
Yeah.
At least he didn't try to throw her under the bus.
Like Danny lied last week.
Oh, yeah.
At least he didn't lie about it.
And even though I do like Ramsay's face as soon as the red team starts talking to Little John, he's like, "Come on,
Get a grip."
Yeah, okay.
Get it together.
Let's get it together. And they stumble for a second, but then they just take off like wildfire. I mean, the red team just left the blue team in the dust this episode.
Yeah.
And they started a little later, too, because the blue team got their entrees out before the red team. Mm-hmm. So I thought, like, okay, well, maybe. But, yeah, they just had too many yips.
Yeah, the yips. That's what they did. There you go.
Yipped.
I think we come up with one of the biggest moments in the blue team is that when they come up with the garnish there at the potatoes and they see this long black hair in the potatoes.
Like
this long black hair.
Like this long blonde hair.
That's right.
Here.
And there's and the fact that
There's
there's
a long blonde. That might be mine.
That was perfect, honey.
That's right, but that there was
Oh my
even
gosh.
a
At
debate.
least it's not in the biscotti.
Right?
Oh, I'm gonna
still
eat that
girl.
piece. Yeah, but I don't care. I do not care.
My hair's clean.
Yeah, we know. But although you did say it kind of stinky when it sits in the bottom of the shower, though. That's what your son
Well,
says.
that one was
PU.
obviously not from the bottom of the shower. I told him, I
I'm
was like,
sorry,
it's
we
not
digress.
stinky.
Look, see, we have too much fun. But
So I can't believe there was even a debate because certainly, you've got Jared, who's pretty much bald. Danny's got blonde hair. Chef Ramsay, who's got blonde hair. Chef Aaron, who's bald. The sous chef right there. And so all it is Amanda.
else?
With black. It's not black. It's brown with red highlights. Like whatever. Like one strand like that is going to be dark hair. There's
And
no.
you could tell
you
it was the
guys
same
for sure
texture.
think it was hers?
Yeah, it was the same texture as hers. Like, when someone has curly hair, for instance, or like, for instance, my hair, we have different textures hair, and you're going to be able to see that, even if it isn't a thing of potatoes.
okay, well, being that you guys agree that it's her hair, do you feel that it was her fault that Jared did not check his mashed potatoes before he sent it to the window?
I mean, I think it was
Just
hard to
as
see.
easily as Chef Ramsay saw it, that means someone else could have seen
Yeah,
it.
but
No,
did
that's very
Chef
true.
Ramsay see it when he he put a spoon in it and went to move it?
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean?
But,
So
yeah.
that's where I'm like, I don't know.
It's tough to say, but I feel like Amanda just own up to it. Just say whatever, and then just move on. We'll make a new batch. But the fact that you
Yeah.
kept on denying it because there's nobody else on there that could be.
that
Well,
was
that's what they're
weird.
saying in the chat. Surprised Chef Ramsay didn't kick her out for lying because, I guess we don't know if she really believed it wasn't hers.
But to kick her out, it's not like she placed her hair in the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
mashed potatoes. It just happened to be there. I get that part, but definitely own it. Like, you don't have to say,
Who
yes,
else?
it's mine. Just be like, but even if she said sorry, like, that's still saying sorry as if she put it in there.
Yeah.
So how do you even go about that?
I don't know because how do you know if your hair got in something or not? How do you prove that it is your hair?
the
You gonna
fact
do a
that Jen
DNA
was
test?
like, it had to have been Mandy's. It should have just been done after that. And she was just like, damn. Instead of
Yeah.
like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And even after the fact, during deliberations. So
No, I guess it's tough because you don't want to look like you've done something wrong in Chef Ramsay's eyes. But I feel like the whole track record for Chef Ramsay is like if you own up to it,
Yeah.
I think he respects you that much more than if you
Yeah.
try. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's so smart. You know that if you're denying, you're trying to lie about something. Even though if he's not calling you on it,
Yeah.
he's putting it in your mental Rolodex there. It's like, all right, yep, okay, I got you. I know what you're all about now.
that was
Yeah.
a tricky situation, but I think that's a learning lesson for everyone that you just need to check your stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm about to say another word. You just got to check your stuff.
yeah.
We're
But
trying to be PC here.
that's right.
It's
Yeah.
a family
It's
show.
funny, they said in the chat, why can you not say balls? I'm like, I don't know. I was just being
No, we got okay
Reminder,
for Mark.
you can say balls.
I love him. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, I just said it again.
You're welcome.
The voice of God. Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's how I feel. It's just a tricky situation about the hair. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
that
tough
happens.
thing.
And then if that's the case, then why aren't you requiring them to wear
Hairnets.
All she has is this bandana, this little that goes like this.
And I feel like they're so gross all the time because they're sweating and they're just like,
then if
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the
like
case, if
Hassan
you have
earlier.
long hair, then maybe you should.
oh
be
yeah,
wearing
you're like
something.
you're dripping your sweat into the food.
Ew.
Yeah.
P.U.
P.U.
And then we see Danny struggling with the meat. She just cannot get her meat game going.
To her
That was weird.
defense, though,
What
it was
happened?
weird. But to her defense, she at least wasn't trying to put something up there. She didn't put it up there without it being what she wanted it to be.
but then you don't know how much more time you need.
That's true. Yeah, you
That was
gotta.
the
You
part
gotta.
that
At
was
this point, you've been
frustrating
making
me.
these. It was the Wellingtons, and it's like you've been making these for how long now? You should kind of have it down. What was happening?
Like, even when Chef Ramsay was like, how much time? I just need more. I'm not going to put him out there. All of that whole sentence, you could have figured out how much extra time you need to just say a number.
Yeah.
Say a number. He doesn't want to hear the extra
And she
talk.
was doing that a lot.
Yeah.
They'd be like, how much time do you have?
frustrating.
Well, I have this, this, and this. It's like, that's not what I asked you. How much time?
The hustle wasn't there.
Yeah.
The hustle wasn't there. And,
I felt like she lost it when she moved to the other team.
I thought she
Is
had
that when
at
it was
first.
exactly?
Yeah, I mean, she had a couple
She
sparks
had a couple,
tonight
yeah.
where she's like, we're not going to fall. We're not going to lose this. We're not going to lose this.
Yeah,
she had a couple sparks
she
on
had
that.
some, yeah.
But then she just kind of went downhill, especially when Chef Ramsay slid into that, cut into that first New York strip and saw that it was pretty much blue.
Yeah.
Still, the white fat hadn't been rendered down or anything like that, and that seemed to throw Danny off for the rest of the night. So second guessing all her Wellingtons, she couldn't get that cooking at all. And then we've got Mando. She burns her fish, which she can't. She doesn't realize at first.
Why
that
did she say
Ramsay-
that out loud?
Yeah, I
She should have
know.
left that
Oh my
in
God,
there.
Yeah,
he
he puts
put
on
her
her
glasses on.
That was funny. I thought about you the whole time because you brought to the attention that she's always doing this, and I never realized it until you said it. Was it a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it drives me crazy.
And so when he was like, and I was like, oh my gosh, I thought he was gonna say bloody hell. Like, I can't even see.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was gonna say something like that.
I know. When he put them on, I lost it. I thought it was hilarious.
They were sagging down his nose too.
I know. Homegirl needs to get new glasses. And it's just, I don't understand.
No, I have because when they're doing like the refires, or he's waiting on meat and stuff, and you can kind of, I guess, as a chef, you start feeling that pressure. Like he's calling it, "Where's the meat? Where's this? Where's
Yeah.
this?" But is just the answer to this, and I'm asking like you guys are going to be able to answer this question for me. Is that as long as you're just staying in constant communication and being verbal and telling him, keeping him up to date exactly,
I think
that's going to
so.
reduce the kind of tension that you're going to be feeling of him being constantly on you.
mean,
I think it's because he
yeah.
knows what's going on. That's
he needs
all.
to know. And
Yeah.
even if you say 5 minutes and he wants it in 2, he's gonna still talk smack, but he's expecting it in 5 minutes.
And I feel like you've been doing this a while. You should, if you think it's gonna take 5 minutes, maybe say 7, just to be safe, because meat can sit. Like you're a chef, you know these things.
Yeah.
Meat needs a little bit of time to sit before you cut it, anyways. So you're better off having it done and kind of ready than the alternative. And then maybe the vice versa for something else, like with an egg. You know what I
right,
mean? You don't want it to be
right.
overcooked, so you're
Yeah.
going to underestimate. But you're a chef. You should know at this point what you can and can't kind of sort of cheat on.
True, especially when it gets down to black jacket time.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be able to show Ramsay, you know what you're doing in the kitchen for that.
It's go time.
Yeah, and the red team is just doing that. They're just, man, they were just
They did
squeezing
it
through
so well. I was really proud of them, too. I was like, yeah, get it.
Ashley had me a little nervous at first.
Yes,
Yeah.
with the meat.
Right.
I was like, hold on. And then she just kept getting compliments after that. And I was like, okay, Ashley. I don't know why. I just thought she was like gonna
Yeah.
lose it at first. So
Well, 'cause what they
shout out
said-
to you, Ashley.
The way they
She did
always
well.
edit those things is when they start saying that, it's always going to take a little longer. I'm dragging, and when Ramsay starts calling attention to that, you think it's going to fail. They're
Yeah.
gonna,
But you see that communication?
yeah, that's
You
where
see
it was.
That communication?
Well, and to be honest, and kind of the same for Amanda, where she really picks herself up and keeps, like, she doesn't give up. I give her credit for that, because
Yeah.
she's kind of been dealt kind of a bad hand in a lot of situations,
she's
dealing
been
with
doing
Frank
well.
and dealing with all these. I feel like she's just gotten the raw end of the deal, and she really has kept it together and fought. Would
Definitely.
fight, yeah.
Yeah.
And it felt like with like Danny losing her fight throughout this whole episode.
Yeah.
And for a second, I thought Amanda was going to do that too, especially how emotional she was when her brother left. And like, make sure you tell my kids that I love them. And I was like, oh, maybe that's going to throw her off her game.
No,
but
that was motivation, honey.
she stuck strong.
Get information.
Yeah. So the red team crushes it, and then I thought this was just kind of an underwhelming award ceremony for them when they get the black jackets.
know.
It's just like at the end, immaculate service. Here you go. Here's jackets. Here's your jackets.
It was just
seemed
a
pretty-
continuation of when they got the boxes and was straight jackets. That was just that
Right.
continuation.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
okay, you had the ceremony.
I
It
guess
just was
so.
a fake
Yeah.
ceremony.
It did seem kind of underwhelming though. I was like, oh, okay. all
When he
right.
handed it to them,
Yeah. It was just like
it was a little awkward.
It was. It was.
They were kind of taking food over to Lil Jon, giving him dessert, and then he just the reaction was great for
Yes.
them, and they got to go into the refrigerator and get to
Finally,
celebrate.
for once, being
yeah.
locked in there for something good.
So I thought that was a really fun moment, and how they got to celebrate. But yeah, it was sort of weird.
Yeah. And so blue team just squeaks by the finish line. They were able to make it there. So he gets them all out and says, hey, guess what? red team's already got their black jackets on. Blue team, you guys are not so great. And since you guys are all going to be a team together now, all of you are going to get together and make the decision of the two people who are going to be nominated.
Not fair.
Man, because boy, the people in the with the black jackets, they just sat up there and just said like,
Oh
"All right,
my
hold in
gosh.
court. Like, what should you be? What do you
Yeah.
I
deserve?"
did not think
High
that was fair at
and
all.
mighty.
Especially
Oof.
they were not the red team, the former red team. They weren't in the kitchen with the blue team.
Yeah.
They didn't see what was going on. Like, I just didn't like that at
It's more of
all.
a personality thing, I think, at that point, where
Yeah.
we don't like you or
Kristen
whatever.
was really feeling herself. Like, send them all
She
home.
was.
Yes.
Send them all home.
Send them all home. I'm like, you need to just slow your roll.
Slow down,
girlfriend.
Turbo.
Yeah.
Seriously.
But I mean, admittedly, looking at it, is that while I wouldn't have been as arrogant and as cocky as she was, I think we have to admit that the red team is heads and shoulders above the blue team.
Yes.
At this point in the competition.
Hence wearing the black jacket.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've
sure.
definitely proven themselves. And it was, I think, I was just so confused when he was telling people to take their jackets off and people stepped forward. I was like, what is happening here?
I knew Danny was going to be up for elimination. I was calling it from last week.
I thought Amanda would be.
Did you?
I didn't think Amanda, for some reason, I thought it was going to be Danny and Jared.
I thought so too, because only because Jared
thought
struggled
Amanda.
a little bit with the carbonara. Because we only saw Amanda like overcook that one fish.
That was
but-
it.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
just, and that's the thing, Amanda has done really well. I just don't think she has authority right
Yeah.
now. She might maybe after this show or something like that, but in the show compared to the other chefs, she doesn't seem to have the authority, and I think it's an obvious thing. So maybe Chef Ramsay, in my opinion, would see that, but I think he also sees that she does fight. So
See, when
Yeah.
it comes to Danny and Mandy, if we're comparing those two, Danny, I feel like Danny puts on a front like she has the authority.
That's
it seems
true.
like she has the authority, but like once it's all said and done, I just don't see it.
that's true. You're
So
right.
I was seeing more of a fight in Manda versus Danny, and
Yes,
that
that's
was what
for
stood
sure.
out for me. That's what stood out to me, and for me, I was like, I think Manda really needs to stay. Like, Danny she finds her footing, she loses her footing. She finds it, and then and like they said, she was walking. Like, there was no hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
was
then,
the right
she
choice.
was walking
It
a
was the
little
right
fast,
choice.
but like there was no hustle. And then you're walking back to the oven to put the Wellington back in, but it's like it's still slow. There's no hustle. Like, oh snaps, let me hurry up and get this in. Let me get. This. It's just kind of like I need more time. I need more time. You're not telling us how much time. You're not like hustling. We're
Yeah.
literally waiting for your station.
And there's no pep in your step.
Yeah, so I thought it was gonna be out of Danny and Jared, and I like Jared. I mean, Jared for the past couple of episodes, I feel like he's been kind of like off.
Sloppy, I almost
Yeah,
feel
he's been a
like.
little off for the last couple of episodes, and that's my reason why I thought it was gonna be out of him and Danny. Even though overall he is a better chef than Manda.
I think so.
Overall, I think that he is. But I've just been seeing so much fight in Manda. I was
Yeah.
just like, she can't go home.
She has been fighting.
She can't go home right now.
Yeah, I would think like anybody from the red team. I think for the most part, I would see them. They could win and take this being the head chef in Vegas and run with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think anybody in the blue team, I think that they aren't in the position right now to run a restaurant in Vegas, but they could use their time in Hell's Kitchen as a platform to get something better out of it, and then their next step could be something like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Wait, did we just do predictions?
No,
No.
not yet.
Oh,
No,
okay.
just our thoughts. Yeah.
I'm like, this just sounded like,
Oh, it's a little sneak peek. That was a prediction of a prediction
Oh,
coming
okay.
up soon.
Right.
So
We
yeah,
will
so
be
we get,
doing
yes.
predictions.
So we get, but it ended up being Amanda and Danny brought up, and then of course
Oh my
Ramsay
gosh,
does his
that
thing
was
where
crazy.
he brings up Jared's like, not so fast, Jared, get up here as well.
So I'm watching this with Frank,
I
and I
yelled.
was like, no. Is he really going to? Frank's like, calm down. He's giving him a jacket. I was like, oh.
Oh, you knew from the moment?
Well,
he put on
that was
the-
his guess.
That was my
Yeah.
guess. I was like, no way, he's not going
I
to cut it.
screamed. I was
Yeah.
like, what? Oh my gosh. And
I was like,
oh.
no.
Yeah, so Jared takes is asked
Frank
to take his
called
jacket
it.
off. Yep, I did it. I nailed it. So Jared takes his jacket off and gets a black jacket. There you go. Just what he always wanted.
Congrats, Jared.
Yeah.
So he didn't even have to sell his mom.
No,
and
it
he
didn't.
strips the two girls of their jackets, and they were like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, but you just knew that it was not going to be Manda. The way that he was kind of leading up
I
to it.
don't know. When he was like, you seem like you miss your kids, and that part, and I was like, you better not. If you make
Don't
that a
use
reason
that.
you send her home,
Yeah.
that's discrimination.
No, and
Yes, that's true.
He doesn't, and then he gives Amanda the black jacket and just tells Danny, like, I feel like, I've been trying to get you to reach you, and I haven't been able to reach you.
Yeah,
I feel like
and I think that was the right choice.
It was
I really
a perfect
do.
choice. It was. Yeah.
Amanda was fighting. I give her kudos.
yeah,
We called it.
that's
You,
right.
you did. I
There you
did
go.
not. I said Amanda was going home, so I lost that
She
prediction.
just tired Amanda in her glasses.
Yeah, they bother me so much.
So we are down to 5 chefs remaining, and now it's all one integrated service, and it's all black jackets from here on out. So with that said, we did a little bit of a tease of our predictions, but let's get full bore into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, we got 5 chefs vying for it. Who do you think's going to be the weaker ones to go?
I think. Are we just doing one person?
Oh, yeah, you can give 2.
What do you
Yeah,
think?
what do you think?
I still.
Well, I eat this guy.
still think Jared's not, I still think Jared is not going to last long. Do I think he'll be the next to go home? It's possible if he keeps fumbling. If he keeps fumbling and Amanda keeps fighting, I feel like he might be the next to go home. If he steps up to the bat and like hits a home run next episode, because next episode he's gonna have some drama with Ashley.
Yep.
So if that gets all mentally misconstrued in his mind and messes with his ability to perform, he might be going home.
So do you think he will be the one? If it was between him and Ashley, who would go home?
No, Ashley's not going anywhere.
Oh, so between
him
Jared and Amanda. Oh, so you think it'll be down to the 2 of them?
Yeah.
I don't know if this prediction is actually going to be correct, but I think based off of it's a really good preface. Based off of what they showed, it almost looks like it's going to be between Ashley and Jared based on like a falling out.
Because he throws her under the bus.
Yeah, he throws her under the bus.
something
So
during
I'm wondering
services.
if it was between the 2 of them, I think Ashley might go home.
Whoa, wait,
Interesting.
let Frank finish chewing.
Yeah.
I had to mull that over as I chewed this delicious biscotti.
Well, and I think that because she's had some mistakes, and he kind of was like, yeah, but you had this position in your restaurant because of your dad. And I mean, that's not cool to say that, because because someone works for their parents doesn't mean that they're not qualified. You know, sometimes you're even more qualified because you've been doing this your whole life, and
Funky
sometimes your
monkey.
parents are harder on you.
That was-
Funky monkey. He goes, I thought it was something else.
F your monkey. He was like, I say that sometimes too. That was so hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so I think if it was between Jared and Ashley, that I think Ashley would go home.
Okay. That's
My
if it's between
prediction.
Jared and Ashley.
Interesting, because Ashley's only really kind of faltered in the past couple weeks ago when she had that kind of mini meltdown. But other than that, she's kind of bounced back and has been pretty strong since then. So I'm thinking if I had to rank all 5 of them, I'm going to put Amanda and Jared as the first 2 to go, get out of there.
Yeah.
And it's oof, because Jared, man, he's just been on kind of a bit of a downslide. I don't think he's
Yeah.
got what it takes to win, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably going to be Amanda first. Even though she's putting up a fight, I think it's going to be Amanda, then Jared, and then it's going to be down to Ashley, Kristen, and Ariel. That's what I think. I feel I feel really rock
see.
solid on Ariel, and I fluctuate kind of between Kristen and Ashley. I'm leaning more towards Kristen, but Ashley, I mean, the way she was cooking those steaks tonight, I'm thinking like, oh man, she does have her act together. She's really delivering.
Yeah. Well, AfterBuzzers,
Yeah.
make sure you tell us what
Yeah, let
you
us know what
think.
you think.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. But I will predict that one or more of these biscottis will be going into my mouth right now.
He said there was going to be 2 left and there's 3. He did that all by himself.
Thank you,
I
Mark.
didn't get a chance to have
Thank you,
it
Mark.
yet. Thanks, Frank. No,
Well, there we go. There's
no,
one
you
right
know
there.
You want them. All of them.
That's right. Here we go. All these biscottis are mine now. Yeah. So what have we learned tonight?
love
We
this.
learned that biscottis are delicious. We learned that you can say balls on Hell's Kitchen.
You can say balls.
We
That's
can.
right.
We learned that Maria posts her
learned-
food in the morning and I post mine at night.
We learned so much, and that I hate bathroom attendants. They're the worst.
Oh,
There you go.
man. That was funny.
So, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of AfterBuzz TV's Hell's Kitchen After Show. But if you want to continue the conversation, like us on Facebook, give us those sweet 5 stars on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter. We'll talk to you happily during the week here.
Yes.
Give 'em a
Robin,
hashtag.
if they want to follow you on Twitter, where can they follow you?
You can find Rhavin with a V at B stays busy, BIZZY. And also hashtag ABTV ABTV Hell's Kitchen.
That's right.
Yes.
That's the one. So
Use the hashtag. When you're watching the show, tweet to us what you think.
yeah.
Yes.
That's the live one.
That is, yeah. And you can find me at Maria Provenzano on Twitter, and all of my information will be there.
Yeah, I'm just eating this biscotti. That's what I'm doing. You can follow me on Twitter as I tell you all about this delicious biscotti there at HappyGoJackie. Another hashtag we'll throw out, pooping in the men's room. Why not?
Yeah.
Oh my
Pooping in the
gosh.
nightclub. All right.
Pooping in the night.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yes, we'll see you next week. Bye, Len. I'm
Bye,
eating
Len. We miss
biscottis.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.